I understand that Mac Jones, the Alabama quarterback, was just throwing it up, and he's got all-world guys bringing it down. But when you do your evaluations, and I know Mac has been killing it there at the Senior Bowl, when you do your evaluations, how much stock do you put into the fact that it is really hard and demanding, super challenging to play for Nick Saban, and he nearly played flawless football for maybe the most demanding coach in college football? When you do your makeup, do NFL guys look at that and say, wow, look at that pressure? Yeah, he's got a ton of talent, but look at what he did.
Yeah, it's interesting because there's a combination of that and dealing with what he had to deal with, and coming in and starting 4 games last year when Tua Tagovailoa got injured, and throwing 2 pick sixes in the Auburn game early, and then battling back and getting him in position. If they made the field goal at the end, they tie and they go to overtime. And then he plays so well against Michigan in the bowl game. And he comes back this year, keeps getting better and better. And we had an early game with Alabama, and Steve Sarkisian, the offensive coordinator at the time, was basically calling him he's a game manager, just stay in his lane, do what he has to do. And then we had him like 4 or 5 weeks later, and he's like, this guy is the dude. It completely changed in terms of the mentality of who Mac Jones was. And it was completely because of how he played, how he took over the job, and the fact that everyone in Tuscaloosa and everyone in Alabama thought that Bryce Young, the 5-star freshman, was going to be the starter, and Mac refused to give up the job. And you can see now why. He's so intelligent. He's so good inside the pocket. He's so good with his accuracy. And Jamie Newman, the transfer from Wake Forest to Georgia, who didn't wind up playing, Kelly Mond, Felipe Frank, Sam Ellinger, Ian Book, who had a great year at Notre Dame. It's so clear watching these quarterbacks who the best quarterback is in this group, and it's Mac Jones.
So let me ask you this, Todd. Devonta Smith is down there. How does he look to you?
Well, he's not playing, but I love the fact that he's here. He and Najee Harris, the running back from Alabama as well. Najee can't do anything. His ankle is a grapefruit about 2 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
He can't do anything in physical contact, but he's doing all the things in, like the one-on-ones and things where he's not going to get tackled. And he's in the meetings, and the same with Devonta. Devonta's not even in pads, but he's following the wide receiver coach. He's with the offense the entire day. He's getting to go and have these one-on-ones. I talked to Jim Nagy, who's the executive director of the Senior Bowl. They spent $12,000 on plexiglass so that these guys could actually, for the first time all year long, have one-on-one meetings in person, not on Zoom, not on the FaceTime or anything else, but in person. And that's why there are 136 players here compared to what usually is about 110, 120 players. All of these guys want to be here, even if they can't play. There are about 9 guys that can't play because of injuries, but they still showed up because they want to have these one-on-one meetings and let scouts and general managers, head coaches, coordinators know who they are.
Yeah, and they go through so many different things down there. I know Devonta Smith is not playing, but he had an opportunity to be weighed and measured, but declined to do those things. Why would he decline to be weighed and measured? We all know what he is.
Yeah, I know. I don't know the exact answer for that, to be completely honest. I do know that everyone's going to have their pro day, and there's not going to be a combine. So everyone's going to get weighed and measured at their pro day, and he will. He's a skinny guy. I compared him to Marvin Harrison for the last couple of years, and that's who he is. I mean, he's a little over 6 foot. He's about 175 pounds, and my guess is he's trying to put on a little bit of weight before he gets his height and weight measured. Probably in 3 or 4 weeks from now.
Yeah, and Marvin, everybody says Marvin was 175. No, Marvin was about 10 pounds, maybe 15 pounds heavier than Devonta, but Devonta is still young. He's still growing.
Yeah.
And so I can certainly
as we
see.
both know, you only put on pounds as the years go on, right?
Yeah, exactly. So I certainly can see him getting a little bit thicker. There's a guy that's been making waves down there out of the University of Oregon who's had some pretty good practices in Thomas Graham. What are you seeing out of him?
He's been really good. You know, it's been impressive. They've been so. This is I will say this through 2 practices. This is the most competitive group I've ever seen at the Senior Bowl. I mean, Dwayne Eskridge. No one knows who this guy is from Western Michigan. He's going to be a top 50 pick. He has been an absolute star. Nico Collins, a wide receiver from Michigan who opted out this year, he's a lot like you were. 6'4", 215, physical. He has speed to get over the top. It wins the 50-50 ball. Sage Surratt from Wake Forest has had a really good week as well. I mean, there are so many good players here. The one-on-ones and the 7-on-7s have been so much fun to watch because the DBs are actually really good, and the wide receiver group is as good as I can ever remember in 23 years of covering the Senior Bowl.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus right now.